Hello and welcome to this International Kriegspiel Society Live Thursday battle. We are doing the Napoleonic Battle of Dresden. The year is 1813, and Napoleon is fighting a desperate fight in the German town of Dresden. So, I am here with Schwarzenberg and Hessen-Homburg. It is a rainy morning. There's a heavy rain. The ground is muddy. The river to the west of you is swollen. What are your orders?
Homburg, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you have your orders from me. How you take the town of Plowin is up to you. Uh, do as you will.
Got you. Uh, First Division is to advance up that road by the river towards the town of Plowin.
In column or line?
Uh, Looks like they're about a kilometer away. Is that right? Am I eyeballing that right?
More like half a kilometer.
More like half a kilometer. Shake out into line, then advance. Um, Second Division to advance in column en echelon behind them to their east. Grenadiers to advance in line um, in their reserve. The battery in the center is to focus their fire on the brigade of the Second Young Guard, the westernmost brigade of the Second Young Guard Division.
Okay.
Wait, is that? I can't quite see the one that's most forward of their, the one that's southernly most in their lines.
Okay.
Um, reserve infantry to hold position, reserve cavalry to hold position.
Got it. Schwarzenberg, you staying here for now?
I would like to start moving towards where I know Detali to be.
Okay. Moving to Detoli. Alright. Got it. Thank you. Alright, General Detoli. It is a rainy morning. The ground is muddy. The troops are wet. But the Russians are ready to fight. What are your orders?
My orders are the following. I want the artillery to open the fire on the of 42nd Division stationed in the town of, if I can read that correctly, something like Strecht. Basically, to the artillery's northeast.
Okay.
I want myself, the Tolly HQ, to move up a bit north and position myself between Yermolov's HQ and Rayevsky's HQ.
Alright.
I want to send a message to Golitsyn to take command of the 2nd Cuirassier, the 1st Guard Cuirassier, and the Guard Light Cavalry squadrons, if I'm saying the units correctly. And I want them to move northeast and join von Kleist's command as we agreed in the briefing.
Okay. And that was. Tell me the units again.
Um, Guard Light Cavalry,
Mm-hmm.
2nd Cuirassier, 1st Guard. Basically, those who are on the most east.
Okay.
And other than that, I have no orders, but I want to ask what's the time?
Oh, sorry. It's 7 a.m.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Alright. Let's see. Wittgenstein. Alright, General Wittgenstein. It is a wet, rainy morning. The ground is muddy. Um, but your troops are ready. What are your orders?
I will send orders to Pollen and have the hussars continue to screen west of Lacewitz. And I personally will head over to Gorskov's location to see what they're dealing with.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Oops, got rid of the river. That's alright. Alright, time for combat. Are we missing anyone? Parkman still out there?
Ney still has not given orders because he has no mic.
So he's gonna type them in his channel.
Yeah, I know.
So we gotta wait for him, but I assume it's gonna be straightforward, so
It's not too bad. It's easy for him. And Mormont wants to go into column and move west.
normal. Okay. Did you already start moving him?
I'm not sure how far should I let him move when he's moving through friendly units.
I would move him half a mile.
Like, okay, like there. Okay.
And he's going down this road, right? So each, if you actually show how long they take, it'd be. Is he going past his own line?
He wants to go straight west, he said.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so they actually go take up a lot of length of the road. You can show it something like that.
Okay, I'm back. Glenclast had a bit of mic troubles, but we're good now.
Okay. Are the artillery correct as to which ones are shooting or not?
Yes, the artillery over here are still shooting at these artillery and where they're shooting currently. That is to say, from my side. I don't know about anybody else's side. Meanwhile, on this, on the French left side, he wants 45th Division to begin attacking Blaswitz with the 10th Lancers as support.
Six. Oh wait.
Oof.
That's alright. They'll take the town.
Awesome. Who is?
And then Langbart's got the combat over there. I think I'm done.
there.
So the next turn is 7:30. We add a little bit more light.
Still raining?
Yeah, still rainy.
I'm not sure the rain's actually doing much, but sure. Let's go.
So when the leaders collocated, do they go to the same channel
Yeah,
or
move them to the same voice channel.
I can move them?
Yes,
Yes, just drag and drop.
you indeed have that power.
Okay.
Screenshots.
Yep, go ahead and start doing your screenshots.
7 8.
So when you do the updates, just make sure to describe kind of the the sounds of the artillery and the battle unfolding around them. What they can see going on.
7 a.m. Light rain. Lots of artillery firing.
That's 7:30 now.
10:30. Sorry.
Okay. They are together.
Sancier asks, what is the time since there's no timestamp?
It was 7, now it's 7:30.
So 0700, right?
That's 7:30 now. Oh, 7:30.
Okay.
Are we making screenshots now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I'm. Is there supposed to be combat here? No, not yet. They weren't actually able to reach.
And all dispatches will be delivered within one turn, right? There's no delay.
Correct.
They're very close to each other.
Alright, I'm gonna go get my updates.
Did we give them back their updates or wait for
Yep.
something?
Once you've done your screenshot, you can hop down, give them an update, and get their orders.
Okay. And since they're all collocated, I have to paste it into each of their individual
Yeah.
channels
And
and then talk to them.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Alright, General Hessen Homburg, your orders to advance go out. Takes a little bit of time for the men to get ready and the word to spread, but now they are on the move, advancing forward. The lead elements of 2nd Division are taking heavy artillery fire from the French and starting to get a little bit shaky, but continue to advance. Your own guns are targeting the 2nd Young Guard to the northeast and seem to be doing well. And you can hear artillery fire erupting all along the line, both east and west, all around Dresden.
Sounds good. 1st Division to continue to advance to contact with the 23rd Division. The lead brigade is to advance to contact and occupy them in front. 2nd Brigade behind is to slide to the east to try to get some fire into that horse artillery battery. Grenadiers to hold position. 2nd Division to Second Division to advance and try to put some fire into the that same guard artillery, horse artillery battery. Artillery batteries to continue the fire on the Young Guard. Cavalry to slide over to the west, directly behind the artillery, in support.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why I was asking what's to the immediate left of him, because I see the enemy
Yeah.
artillery is firing in.
All right, gentlemen, you have a meeting of the minds as Schwarzenberg comes from the west and Wittgenstein from the east and meets with Detali. You can hear artillery fire all along the line as it turns bright enough for the artillery officers to see something despite the rain. Um, yeah, that's about it. What are your orders?
My orders are for the 1st Grenadier Division to begin an assault on the village of Strecht.
Okay.
And I want the 2nd Guards Division to the right of them to also do that. But instead of assaulting the town, they should just be the connector between Prussians and the Grenadiers and help Prussians in the firefight against a French division on the northeast.
Okay.
And I want the Life Guard Cuirassiers and 3rd Guard Cuirassiers to redeploy behind Alvensleben and Yermolov's staff.
Alright.
And when the Grenadiers reach the town of Strecht, I want the artillery to stop firing and change the target to be the 42nd Brigade located west of Strecht.
Got it. Alright,
Yeah,
Schwarzenberg.
that's it for me.
Are you staying here, Schwarzenberg?
Wittgenstein, are you going back to von Kleist or staying here?
I'm heading back in that direction because I still have advanced guard I need to tend to.
Sounds good. Yeah, just have von Kleist continue his attack as hard as he thinks is practical. I would like to return to Hamburg.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm heading back to von Kais and just have the 5th Division advance on the young guard in front of them. Keep the artillery in support of whatever
Wait, can I
they
object?
got going on.
I'd rather have you just move a little and secure the artillery's left flank instead of engaging the young guard. Maybe postpone that for an hour or half an hour. I will then support you with lifeguards from the Prussians.
Yeah, push them up to secure the artillery's flank. Make sure they don't get charged down. That's it. That's all they got to do.
Alright, thank you.
So, James, a question. Napoleon, Victor, Marburg, they wanted to move all the way to Sincere. I've moved them. How far can they move? Basically, that's what I'm asking.
About 3 miles.
Okay, so they can actually reach him completely. Thank you. And what is their view? About a mile or more?
A little over a mile.
Okay.
Grenadiers.
I had a slight question, but I wasn't sure if cover was actually a thing in this. I assume it's not really.
Well, if they're in a town, like if they're in a city, they're basically in amongst the buildings and have cover.
Okay, so the 44th Brigade here, is this 44th? 44th Division here is like kind of in the city. He kind of pulled them back in so he could not get shot by all the artillery. But yeah, that's it. That's the only note I had.
Oops.
Friesemann, are you Empire Park?
Yes.
Okay. So both Napoleon, Victor, and Marburg, they joined Sincere, so you should probably move them to the same channel or something. Are you going to give them the same update?
I'm probably gonna give them the same update. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I think what we decided, as long as they're just like there on their own, you just deal with them. But then when they come back, you pass them off to me when they're back in center. Is that okay?
Problem. Just moving around and going places. I don't know what the plan is here. This entire 4th Division and 5th Division not doing much. See how that goes.
Are we still at 7:30?
It is now
Next turn is
7,
now 8.
8, yeah.
I just finished my combat. Are you about done, Lingbart? No, Lingbart's not here. Where's Lingbart?
Faye's still off doing something. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah. James, are you doing the combat with the artillery here?
No, you should do that one.
Okay.
James, I'm so sorry. Like, did you have like 2 turns of combat right now where you are at?
No, I only did one.
Like, oh, okay. I'm just thinking. I did not give this paid, so okay.
We're good.
And
So the
are you doing
French.
that combat here? This one?
Yeah, I did do that one because it's on my side of the river. So the French are holding in Plausen but breaking in Strela, whatever, something.
Hello.
And the Hussars here, Plauen's Hussars got routed out of Blasewitz. But it looks like they got a brigade moving up through the woods there.
Yep.
Make sure if it's in the woods here, they're at half speed from the woods. I don't know if you took that into
Yeah,
account.
it's like this much, right?
Yeah, not very much. It'd be pretty
Yeah,
slow.
that's what I'm saying.
Update time?
Yeah, I'm screenshots. 8 o'clock. I gotta separate people again. Hessen, Hamburg. Drakov's not a player.
And who is here? Victor, Mobourg, Saint-Cyr, Napoleon.
Makes my life easier. Okay.
And what's the weather like?
Still,
Light rain.
still rainy.
Okay.
Is it light rain or rain?
It's lightening up, but still rainy.
Who's here? Nice.
Who has von Kleist? Park?
That's me.
Will you take Wittgenstein this turn? Because he's with von Kleist.
Wittgenstein. That's the Hexacon, right?
Yeah. Just
You got it.
give him von Kleist's screenshot and get his update. All right. General Schwarzenberg rides quite nimble today. He's riding back and forth across the battlefield. He rides back to join Hessen-Homburg, the reserve.
Yeah.
And in time to see a large assault being launched on the left. So far, the French are holding within Plausen, but you can see that it looks like Julier is also committed troops from across the river who are trying to storm across the bridge. First and Second Division are charging the artillery. Some of Second Division's several brigades have been broken and are fleeing back, but the rest of the division holds and is firing.
All right. Would it be bonkers? What the hell? Why not? The elements of First Division and Second Division, which just have artillery in front of them, are to try to storm the guns, but they are not to pursue into the Old Guard entrenchments that we can just barely see to the north. First Division elements that are in Plauen are to keep the pressure up on the 23rd Division. And Grenadiers are to move up behind in support of the forces that are going for the artillery. I'm going to personally ride out to try to rally and reset the breaking Second Division brigades. Artillery to continue firing on the Young Guard Reserve Division to hold position.
Excuse me. Okay. Schwarzenberg, staying here.
To my west, what can I see from here of Goulet of Goulet's cool? Is there masses of infantry moving, or
You see gun smoke rising in the distance, maybe a mile away to your northwest.
do I have any idea how I would get to Goulet from here, knowing that it rained last night?
The river is quite swollen, though there are a couple bridges still traversable. The closest bridge is the one where the French are fighting at Plausen, but there are others.
Yeah, I really want that bridge. All right, I am going to remain here for now.
Okay. All right, General. So the first Grenadier Division charges forward into the Stray something town, and they report back success that the French are routed and they're taking the city, the town as we speak. Second Guard supports them and also reports success.
Copy. Orders are for the Grenadiers to continue assaulting the town, and when they clear it, they are to form up and open fire on the 42nd Line Brigade, directly to their north, and the guards should hold the flank of the Grenadiers and await that the Prussians catch up with them. I will send Rayevsky and Yermolov to assume frontline command of these units.
Okay.
I want the Lifeguard and Third Guard cuirassiers to form up north of Yermolov and Alvenleben HQs as they currently stand. That is behind the artillery.
Okay. Right.
And I want the artillery to continue pounding the 42nd Line Brigade, and when it is engaged by the Grenadiers, they are to shift attention again to the northwest and engage the 1st Young Guard Brigade closest to them.
Say that last part one more time.
Engage the 1st Young Guard Brigade closest to them.
Who's that? Who's?
That is artillery.
Oh, got it.
That is. They should do that after the Grenadiers engage the line they're currently firing at.
Okay, got it.
Yes, and I want Gorchakov's 5th Division to pivot a bit to the northwest. Northwest, and hold the line between artillery and the Austrian Reserve Division.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And the Prussian lifeguards under Alvensleben are to form in a brigade line behind them.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
And
Why can't I move this stupid channel? Nansuti. I think that's what I should do. Park. Killing me, Park.
Side of those guns. The artillery is
How are the dispatches going, Chinleaf?
I'm working on it.
I'm gonna just start doing combat. That's minus 2.
Lombard, the 4th Young Guard and artillery that you're moving right now, are they under command of Ney or Mortimer?
I'm not really sure, but
young-
they're closer to Ney.
It's Ney. The young guards over there is Ney.
Okay. So when the division breaks, do I move them or are you moving them?
Whoever's doing combat will move them if they're breaking.
Okay.
Why is Park taking so long? Where'd he go? Oh, he must be. That'll make it easier. Let me know when you're done with your combat, Langbart.
Second, that should be fine. That should be fine. And should I make them break or surrender? Those guys that are fired by.
Oh, those they would break. Unless they're getting overrun by cavalry or infantry, they just break.
Okay. Then let's go to 6. Get me as command. Okay. And okay, I'm done.
Park still in the back. Yeah, alright, we can do screenshots. Let me go talk to Park.
Come over to the right, cover the right flank of the 10th and 11th Brigade.
Hey, Umpire Park, when you do your screenshots, make sure you got north pointing up on them.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Alright, so now 8:30.
So let's see what's going on here. I moved them up a bit, but there was some distance that they still have left a bit. He wanted 12th Brigade to basically charge the guns.
Okay. Have you moved them at all?
I moved him just a tiny bit, but he said like move them in like a column to charge the guns,
Okay.
followed by the cavalry to basically pursue the guns. The cavalry, the cuirassiers to pursue the guns.
All right.
Meanwhile, on this side, it's kind of. I think I did a pretty okay job here.
Am I picking up Marburg now?
Yeah. Oh, in the case of Marburg, if 42nd was to retreat, he wanted to direct them back to Saint Cyr on the right side.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just Marburg is a cavalry commander, but you don't mind him giving orders to other people's divisions.
Is he commanding victors? Because these are all victors right here.
These are all victors. He's basically only just if 42nd breaks, he said.
Okay.
To direct them back to Saint Cyr.
That's fine.
Tell them where their commander is.
Is it still rainy?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will give Marburg his update.
Did Wittgenstein stay to the east?
Yes, Wittgenstein said he was going to stay with von Kleist.
Okay. Okay, did I do everyone? So you got Wittgenstein again with von Kleist. Alright, I'm gonna go do my orders.
Got the guns.
Alright. So Hessen-Homburg spends his half hour helping to reform the part of the 2nd Division, so you can't see much. But you do hear word that the 1st Division has a part of it's been broken as it tried to take Plausen, but the Grenadiers followed in behind and were managed to take it and break the French 23rd Division, who are fleeing. Also, 1st and 2nd Division report that they have captured the French guns. And they can see beyond the hills some redoubts and defenses outside the town to the northeast. And the black hats of the old guard are manning those defenses.
Yeah. They are the elements of 1st and 2nd Division with the guns that have taken the guns. Get my compliments. They get mentioned in dispatches. They are to hold position, refuse the eastern flank against an attack from Mortier's Young Guard. Nostitz's cuirassier is to advance to rendezvous with the element of 2nd Division and pose a threat to the Young Guard line, though he's not to go in immediately. Hussars are to move. Schneller's Hussars are to move in the direction of Plauen to support the Grenadiers. 1st Light Division is to remain in support of the guns. General Schwarzenberg, if you can stay here to see the general situation, I'm going to ride to try to reform that element of 1st Division.
Right.
All right. I'm going to head north towards Plauen to try to reform that 1st Division element.
Okay. Schwarzenberg, you're staying here?
Well, do I, to the east, can I see any inclination that the Prussian Life Guards are moving into position, or is it just smoke?
They're too far away. They're nearly 2 miles away.
Gotcha. I would like to. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay here.
Got it. Thank you. All right, General Detali. Your first grenadiers report that they have occupied the town. The French are fleeing. Your artillerymen have the French division under fire to the north. They do report, they and the second guards report, one, that the Prussians have moved up to match their flank, but they can see French troops moving through the gardens to the northwest,
Copy.
coming your way.
I know. Yeah, I know what's the best that. So orders are for the first grenadier. Wait. Before I say something, do the guards at the front specify what unit they are? Infantry, cavalry, or are they just they here marching?
Sorry, what's the question?
Do the guards at the front, do they see infantry or cavalry moving up to reinforce?
Infantry.
Oh, okay. So what I wanted to say is that the 1st Grenadier Division in the town is to engage the 42nd line directly in front of it, that's still holding against cannon fire. The Guard Brigade next to it is to move up and engage the French division in front of the Prussians to its immediate northeast, and then the reserves, the first guards and the second guards in the reserve, are to march up and fill the gaps left by those pivots. And the the brigade of 5th Division of Gorchakov that is directly in front of the lifeguards is to make way for them and reposition in front of the other brigade of the 5th Division. And the lifeguards of Alvensleben are to occupy the space left of the lifeguard cavalry and behind artillery.
Okay.
And I myself, the Tolly, are to move basically with the cavalry. Yeah, with the 3rd Guards cavalry, I am to be with them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Alright, thank you. How are we doing on range? It's kind of
Emperor James, question. You moved some of the 42nd Division and 43rd that was broken. General Morbo, he actually came to the front to try to direct them, orderly around the lines back to the Napoleon to rest there.
I thought he wanted to go north to St. Cyr.
Are you? Well, they are going around that way, but I don't know if they're going directly to the lines. I'm expecting disruption. So yes, he wants to go in the direction, but he wants to do it in a proper
Okay, I got it.
order rather than this. Another question: the units that are being ordered to rest, like for example, 2nd Yard Guard of Mortimer, will you be reducing their disruption, or
Who's resting? Where?
Mortimer in the center?
If I may interject after you're done with the questions, Okay, so I'm positive that Napoleon and Victor didn't get their update, and without them, I can't really deliver the French dispatches.
Well, who has Napoleon right now? 8:30.
I was
Victor didn't get an
expecting
update as well.
Napoleon.
Napoleon's with Victor. Who has Victor?
I don't know, maybe me, but yes, I do. But I thought that whoever is doing the right side, Friesman, is giving updates to all of them because they're co-located.
Yeah. Well, he had Saint Cyr. Well, he's not here. Go ahead and give the 8:30 update for
Okay,
Victor,
sure, will do.
Napoleon, and Malberg since they're together.
But everything is moving, man.
Just go ahead and just do it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Napoleon, Victor.
Let's see how this goes.
I'm gonna have to fix my screenshots next turn because I kind of screwed it up this turn. I didn't face north. Let's see here. So in hindsight, Saint Cyr wants to pull back his artillery, and Von Kleist wants to attack the artillery. Fun stuff.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how far they could move because they limbered and then they wanted to move. Work.
He's attacking over there.
Yes. With the two infantry here, the cavalry's in just to preserve to exploit the gap.
3, 4. That's turned into.
Okay, okay, okay. I think my side of combat is done.
I'm
There's
almost
combat
done.
happening on this side too.
Okay. I think I finished. Alright, it's now 9 o'clock. Go ahead and do your updates. Park.
Yes.
You can give Von Kleist more of a view of the enemy than you've given him. Like, let me give you one, and I'll show you what I mean. Oops.
Sure. Where do I look?
I'm about to put it in his channel.
Okay. Oh, what did I just click?
So north up, and you can show more. Like for example, Paulin in his rear is going to report where he is and that he's recovering, so he would know that. And then you can show more of the enemy, like I showed.
Well, what is going on? My Discord is having a trouble right now because now it's like sending me over on the. 1 second.
All right. So General Hamburg again spends time helping the first division recover and rally. The cavalry moves up as ordered, and you get reports back that the French are holding behind their defenses. Some of your artillery has been forced to stop firing because Nostitz is in their way.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
All right, I'm gonna resume a overview of the general situation. Orders to the portion of the second division that is still in line to my northeast. If they see a flank of a Young Guard brigade, the brigade commander has discretion to pitch into it if he thinks his men are in good condition. Orders to the cuirassier, Nostitz cuirassier, if he sees the that second division brigade go in, he's to exploit any opportunity he has for to support that attack. The first division in line facing the old guard entrenchments is to hold position. The grenadier brigade is to secure Plowen and the bridge across the river and link up with Gilai's men across that we could see about an hour ago. Reserve division, if reserve division is to tentatively advance no further than the
monument.
no further than the monument, but are free to exchange rifle fire with Young Guard divisions.
Where's
or
the
Young Guard
monument?
brigades.
No.
Yeah. It should be directly north of their position, maybe 200-300 yards, just south of the road.
Okay. All right, Schwarzenberg, you're staying here.
I would like to go link up with Detali.
Oh, okay.
We'll just follow the road east again. I'd like to see what the life guard situation is.
Oh, sorry, one more order. Schneller's hussars are to follow Nostitz's lead, and if they see a Young Guard unit they can pitch into, they are free to do so.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. All Alright, General d'Italie. The French 42nd Division has been broken by your grenadiers and artillery and are fleeing. Your second guards also report they've helped to break the 43rd Division, and the French to the northwest are retreating back that way.
I see. Yes, but the grenadiers and guards are now being counterattacked by French reinforcements. So
Well,
I will order.
yeah, go ahead.
What did you say?
Well, they got hit on the flank, and then, but now the enemy's retreating back after hitting you.
Oh. Well, I will order Yermolov and Rajevsky to pull back those units hit by French counterattack and to replace them with fresh reserves behind them.
Okay.
At the same time, I will let my artillery rest for the turn, that is replenish, and unlimber. I mean limber. They have to begin movement next turn.
Okay.
And I want the cavalry to replace the guard divisions behind Yermolov and Oyevsky.
Okay.
Those are my moves for now.
Got it. Thank you.
Attack, maxing.
Parkman, it seems like your pieces are always zipping around everywhere. Make sure you're not moving them too far each turn.
Yeah, I might be accidentally moving them a tiny bit twice. I'll try to be more careful about that.
Thank you.
I love it when both sides break at the same time.
Yeah. The French got those super cavalry still in reserve.
Super cavalry?
Oh, they got elite cuirassiers. They got 5 units of cuirassiers and 3 dragoons. Wherever they launch that, that's going to be devastating. If they keep them together and punch through somewhere weak, could cause a mass rout. Because the coalition's already committing their cavalry base. Well, not all of it, but they don't have like a supercharged cavalry ready to go.
I don't know. There's this on the right side.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I think I can do one more turn before I should probably head back to my studies.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what I can get for you. Maybe we'll see the big one right now. Who knows?
So are we
Combat's done
ready
on the
for
right side. Langbard, are you done?
No, my guys are talking endlessly or writing slowly.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you don't have left side people, you can do it.
my side? Freezerman, I think you just copied.
Yet again, Napoleon and Victor didn't get an update.
Alright, so who's got those guys?
So I have them.
Marburg.
Uh,
Marburg also didn't get an update.
Yeah, but they got it for 9:30. We didn't start the 9 o'clock update yet.
Huh?
We're just doing the combat for 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we just did 9 o'clock. So, but they never got a 9 o'clock screenshot.
I thought the 9 o'clock updates were already out, no?
They should have been. So I think those are yours, Mikius, right? Marburg.
Maybe I was not here. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got Marburg.
But anyway, sorry. Just before we do that, can we just double check that these 4 over here in the center? Oh, go away. That they were duplicated from the western flank.
Oh, looks like it, huh? Yep.
Okay. So update for. Okay, I'm sorry. I must have been away because I did not hear a call for 9 o'clock update. So I'll send that update for Victor and the center, Mortimer, Napoleon, Marburg.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Okay. So now my combat is done.
Okay.
Hmm. Did somebody move Victor into the same voice chat as everybody else?
I didn't. Oops, I did the wrong
I
one.
didn't do anything.
You can move him back out if you want. So now it's 9:30. So we should be doing 9:30 screenshots.
Big screenshot. I should probably take your screenshot as an example.
All right, General. So, your grenadiers moved to further secure Plauen, including moving across the bridge. But as they cross the bridge, they come under fire from the Young Guard from the north, and it turns out to be enough to break them. To the northeast, no one's engaged, but your cuirassiers are pretty close to the French line, just out of range. And that's about it.
Okay. Obviously, the Grenadier Division across the rivers to pull back. I'm going to go to rally them. Grenadier Brigade in Plauen itself is to hold and dig in on our side of the bridge. First and second division are to hold their position. Cuirassiers are to pull back. Schneller's Hussars are to make a brief reconnaissance, a short reconnaissance up the road beyond Plauen to the north. Though they're not too engaged, just to see what is to the north beyond. Other than that, one what appears to be a Young Guard artillery. Reserve Corps artillery is to limber and make for Plauen. Reserve Division is to advance northwest to have their eastern flank rest on Rachnitz, the village to their north. Looks a little late, but though those captured French guns, can we turn them on the enemy?
You don't have the artillerymen for it.
Fair enough. Second Hussars are to First Light Division is to escort the Reserve Corps artillery to Plauen. The Second Division Brigade that got chewed up a little bit earlier is to go reinforce their brother brigade. The First Division Brigade that got chewed up is to rest for another half hour.
All right. Thank you.
Digging in.
All right. So as you no doubt can tell, General Schwarzenberg has joined General Dettali. Basically, your grenadiers and guards have pulled back and taken position in and around the town and are resting now. You can hear and somewhat see the Prussians are attacking to your northeast. And other than that, you're pretty much unengaged at the moment. The French line, as far as reports from scouts and skirmishers, the French lines pulled back and kind of formed a line through the gardens, but closer to the city than before.
Copy. The artillery is to move a little bit to the north and pivot northwest so that it is aligned with the road going from Gorchakov to Grenadiers, and they are to begin harassing the entrenching French opposite of them. The target doesn't matter, but they fire at will at whatever they see.
Okay.
I want the damaged Grenadiers and Guards to shift so that they can make open the way for the fresh Guards to move forwards and to hold the line in the center. and I want myself and the cuirassiers to move directly northeast of Ravietsky in that open space in front of the fighting Prussians.
Okay.
Yep, that's and also the 5th Division is to deploy in a line next to the Austrian reserve and the artillery of mine.
Okay.
And the Prussian guards are to march on the road to the east and deploy like they are facing northwest in the place where I was and where Schwarzenberg currently is.
Okay.
Yep, that's it for me.
Where'd they come from? Schwarzenberg, what are you doing?
I plan to send some dispatches to Wittgenstein. I would like to move west towards Hamburg with the ultimate goal of crossing the Plauen Bridge to get to Goulet.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-oh. I don't know why they're on top of each other. Meant for them to attack there. Four, three.
Alright. Oh, for my last turn, here is what's happening. He wants the Lancers here to countercharge.
Okay.
The Grand Battery here stops firing, because that's what the orders were.
Okay.
Whilst he, in the case of Saint Cyr, he's basically resetting up his units here, trying to rally all the people he can. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is a charge that he tries to do with the cavalry.
Got it. Alright. Thank you for your help.
No problem, man. I'll see you next week.
Good luck on your studies.
Thank you very much. I will be needing it.
Let's see. Lancer charge in the woods. Not good. I think it's not gonna work.
Yep. James, could you promote me, please?
Yes, I can.
Because I got disconnected.
I saw that.
Thank you. That's... Name orders.
Okay, so I have just completed the orders, the update and orders for 9:30. Am I behind?
No, you're right on spot. So
Ooh.
Park left. So I'll take over Wittgenstein and von Kleist, and then I need you to take over. I don't know who you had, Victor and Saint Cyr. Basically, the whole French line on the east side.
Sure. I already had Victor, but I'll take Sincere
Yeah,
as
just
well.
one
No
more.
problem.
And if it proves too much, you can even though they're not together, you could just group them together to do them at the same time if that proves easier.
Yeah, it's not too much. Just like I missed a few things because I was in a different channel, etc. I got out of sync.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little bit slow there, but it's fine. For now, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we're at 10 o'clock. The eastern side is all resolved.
The western side as well. They are basically just falling back at this moment.
Okay.
Okay, updates.
Yep. So we do 10 o'clock.
Who
All right.
is?
You got me now. We lost Parkman. So you, as you said, you're right, sit atop your horses, I suppose. You see the 10th Brigade streaming back through the woods, back towards you. The artillery has stopped firing and is repositioned. The 10th Brigade report they were attacked by Lancers in the woods, but managed to hold them off and repel them. 11th Brigade still controls the town of Blaswitz. To the west, you can see attack all along the line from the Prussians, and you receive word that the 9th Brigade has broken and are fleeing to the rear, and that on the far left flank the Russians are not advancing but holding their position. And the advance guard's moving up from the rear. Paulin is his hussars have mostly recovered, and you've got your guard cavalry on the road by the river waiting your orders.
Are you still transferring Paulin under my command?
Yeah,
What's
they're
the-
good to go now.
Alright, so I'm taking command of Paulin's cavalry, and I want them to form up with my cuirassiers behind the 12th.
Okay.
That advance guard has to get there in time. Should we fall the 12th back a little bit?
No, if anything, you want the 12th to extend to then outflank the Sith and maneuver the artillery forward to then pound the back lines while you advance the 10th and the 11th.
Okay, so the 12th Brigade, I want them to form up in line, but I want the 12th Brigade with the 2 fatigue to kind of like flank the 6th Brigade, and then I want my Grand Battery to form up along side of that 12th Brigade and fire against the back line. I want the 10th. I want the 11th to form line. The 11th Brigade to form line next to each other, with the 10th, and the 10th to get out of square and to try to continue giving pressure against the 45th. Yeah, as of right now, that's all we're gonna do, or at least on my end.
And the advanced guard is supposed to be doing what? Charging in, or?
No, they're just going up to fill the gap the 9th left, so go in, form line in front of the enemy.
Okay. Alright, got it. Thank you.
Basically cover the 12th's flank, really.
Alright, General D'Atali, your men have moved as ordered. You can see the Prussians fighting to the north. Your artillery's opened fire again on the enemy, and the men are, for the most part, recovering. The lifeguards moving to the east. What are your orders?
Orders are for the cavalry directly behind me to launch a charge in the center of the French line, currently engaging the Prussians, and simultaneously I want the Guards division closest to me and the French to attack the brigade of French 5th Division in front of me and it. And I want the Guards brigade that was behind it to replace it in the front line. Lastly, the Prussian lifeguards are to continue marching to the east, and eventually they will replace the cavalry that just charged.
Okay.
Okay, those are my orders.
Thank you. 1 second. All right. So Schwarzenberg has arrived again. Unfortunately, the bridge west of Plauen is not quite secure as the French still occupy the opposite side.
Okay.
Hamburg helps
I
rally the grenadiers, and that Schneller reports that the road is guarded by the old guard to the east. So you can see the artillery and the old guard there from his scouting.
okay. The French on the other side of the bridge. Do we what strength are they present in? Regiment,
Looks like
brigade, division?
one division.
Okay. There's a full division there? Okay, that doesn't quite match the screenshot, but okay.
Well, they were when you. They must have
Okay.
moved. They were right there because they routed the grenadiers, and then I guess they pulled back. So
Okay.
you can cross the bridge now if you want.
Okay. Okay. Nostitz's cuirassiers are to link up with the CIC in Plauen, or with Schwarzenberg and Plauen, and make certain that he doesn't get his head shot off as he tries to cross the bridge. Schneller's hussars are given a conditional order to, if practicable, take the Young Guard battery that we can see to the north. However, if there's infantry support in the vicinity, they're not to do it. Grenadiers are to hold Plauen. First and second divisions are to reconstitute in line. Artillery is to continue on their march to set up a grand battery at Plauen. Reserve infantry division is to continue their march to set up the line ending at Racknitz. And I believe that is it. Light division is to ride towards Schneller's, or no, they're to remain in support of the reserve division.
Okay. And Storsenberg, you're going to Juliet?
Yeah, I'd like to link up with Nostitz cuirassiers as an honor guard and get across that bridge to get to Goulet as quick as possible.
Alright. Alright, thank you. Let's do a whole heck of a lot of combat.
A lot of nothing on my side.
So, James, I don't know if it makes any difference. Victor, he approached his lines trying to give them moral support, if that is a thing in this place.
Oh yeah, it does. Let's see what. Oh wait. Let's see. Alright. I'm done. So it's now 10:30.
Are we go for 10:30?
Yep.
Okay.
Who do I have now all on the coalition side?
Oh, you got Schwarzenberg now. So he's with Juliet. I'll move him over. So you can do his screenshot.
It's only Schwarzenberg?
Yep.
Good.
Alright. Going to get my orders. Alright, General. So Schneller starts to move towards the artillery, but as you ordered, when he sees infantry nearby, he turns around and does not engage, but he does get shot up in the attempt. The rest of your line moves into position, including your artillery, and fighting to the west of you has died down. You hear almost nothing over there. You can still hear quite a bit to the east. What are your orders? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Alright, I'm going. Alright, General Datali. Your attack goes in. The lifeguards are significantly hindered as they try to maneuver through the garden forest area directly in front of them, which really stunts their charge. And so the French are able to withstand them. But the advanced guard also goes in on the far right and seem to be doing well along with the Prussians.
Copy. Orders are for the lifeguard cavalry to disengage from combat and retreat behind me, and in their place, the reserve grenadier and guards division is to move up and take their place and engage the French. And the Prussian lifeguard marching east is to turn north and replace the reserves that just moved up to replace the cavalry in the attack on the French right.
Alright.
That's it from me.
Tree. So.
Alright. So the 10th Brigade is now near you and starting to recover. The 11th, the rest of the other half of 10th Brigade is still advancing as ordered. 11th Brigade's holding Blauswitz, and the 12th Brigade reports that the French are breaking from their attack, including the attack of the advanced guard.
Okay, so the 10th Brigade is to stop their advance. They are to cease advance. The 11th Brigade is to open a gap so that the guard cavalry could get through Bladswitz. So I want them to open up a gap for them. I want the 12th Brigade to keep hammering the 6th Brigade, because I know that they're broken, but I want them to keep hammering them until they either break or surrender, and report back if they do surrender. And if possible, for them to kind of open up a gap so that Palin and Mike Crassiers could kind of go through that area if possible. That's all for me.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep advancing the advanced guard alongside the 12th. And when the gap is formed through Blasewitz, charge through the guard cav. Once they're through in open ground, go into lines with the cuirassiers in front and the hussars behind, and we want to be able to hit the flank of the 14th Corps entirely. So 45th Division, the artillery, whatever they run into, just go ahead and sweep them from the east.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
You there now?
Yes.
Could you hear my
That
update?
work?
Did you hear my update before?
I did.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you at all before.
Yeah. No, my mic came unplugged from the USB.
Oh, that would do it.
I fixed it. So artillery is to roll forward to the front line, and all batteries are to direct counter battery at that young guard battery that's shooting us. Just suppress it. I want it to not exist anymore. Schneller is to fall back behind the line and reconstitute. First Light Division is to ride to the east, make contact with the Russians, and if they have a use for them, I will relinquish command of them over to the Russians. If not, they're to come back. Otherwise, we're gonna hold.
Okay. Thank you.
James, we have a question from Sincere, whether the two of his 44th, 45th Division on the far left side, or like far north east side, if he was able to rally them at all.
Yeah, they did rally some.
Okay.
Did he give orders specifically to rally them?
Yes.
Alright, I'll extra rally them then.
Whoever's Homburg, the CIC is back with you.
Still not sure if I like D8s or not.
It's very swingy.
Yeah. More than you'd think it'd be for just adding another level, but
I think the problem is that a 2 is already a disruption.
yeah.
If
Maybe
you
maybe I should have like
more
Z-
1 disruptions
and
and
two.
less 2 disruptions.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe 1 and 2 are 0, and 3 and 4 and 5 are 2. No, 1, and then 6. Yeah, anyway, sorry. I'll figure it out later. 2 disruption.
But it makes this thing faster
Yeah.
if they would attack.
There's a whole lot of not attacking this game. 5, 3.
That's now 11, what's coming up, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. As I have some time I can prepare screenshots.
Yeah, I'm almost done. You can probably just do the screenshots already. Let's see. 2, 6, 2, 1, 1. Alright. 11 o'clock.
There you go.
And I got Schwarzenberg again. Langenbart, I haven't been paying attention to Marmon's men, but if they've been sitting there, they should be recovering a morale each turn. Oh, is Langenbart even here? No. Where'd he go?
Just focus of them.
Hey, Langenbart, one comment. I don't know if you've been doing it, but for Marmont, if his men are resting, they should be recovering a morale each turn. I don't know if you've been doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay.
They just didn't rest very much.
Okay, just checking in. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So Schwarzenberg, his horse is exhausted as he returns back across the river.
I still have my head.
Let's see. Your artillery's moved up and is firing on the French position. Rest of your line is holding as they are. The enemy's firing back, but with less guns, and that's about it.
How far away is my artillery from the closest Old Guard earthwork? Just out of curiosity.
About a quarter mile.
So that is. Oh God, I can't do math. I'm a lawyer. I can't do math. That's just about canister range, right?
Close to it.
Yeah. Shit, why not? Roll them up and focus canister on the westernmost Old Guard infantry to advance en masse in support, but not to assault yet. And that's my order, I think.
Okay. You staying here, Schwarzenberg?
I would like to exchange my horse for another horse and head east towards Detoli, please.
Okay.
My compliments to the Cuirassiers.
Are they coming with you?
No, they can stay. They'll stay here with Hamburg.
Cuirassiers to move up with the Grenadier Division.
Thank you for lending me them so I didn't get my head shot off.
Of course.
All right, General Detali, you receive a dispatch from the 1st Light Division's Hussars from the Austrians. They've been told to report to you and support you if you need it. They're currently on the left flank of the 5th Division at the far left end of your line. Your artillery is firing at the enemy. The 1st and 2nd Guards are engaged and report success as the French line is breaking. And the other half of your 2nd Guards are moving up with the Grenadiers in support into the gardens to further attack the French.
Copy. So I want all Russian Guard and Grenadier units to annihilate the French they face and pursue them, though cautiously. I mean, that is, once they break, well, they are to be going to their place, but I mean, not like chase them back to Dresden. I mean, like, just get them off the battlefield. And the Prussian life guards are to pivot to the left and take position between the artillery and the 1st Guards brigade north of them in that point of time. And so yeah, the 2nd Guards brigade and the Grenadier brigade is to attack what's in front of them, and the Tully will go to 2nd Corps Reserve Cavalry, and I will organize the retreated units back into combat formations. Those are my orders.
Okay, thank you.
All
right.
As a reserve,
Hello.
or be able to move left in case they outflank us.
Your cavalry have moved off as ordered. Your 10th Brigade reports, the one that's fighting reports that they're breaking and are fleeing back. Your artillery's firing, but some of your guns have been hit and artillerymen scattered, and so you've lost about a battery. The 12th Brigade reports the French are fleeing and the Russians are supporting, and other than that, things are good.
Okay, so the 12th Brigade that is most exhausted, I want them to fall back.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want Poland and my cuirassiers, once that 12th Brigade, the one that's most exhausted, falls back, I want my Poland, the cuirassiers, to through that gap to chase down the French 6, as well as attacking the flank of the 5th Division.
Okay.
The 11th is to stay where they're at, to keep hold of that area, and the artillery is to reform and to continue attacking counter battery of the enemy's artillery in front of them. That's all I'm saying for now. For me, at least.
I'll have the advanced guard keep up the pressure and have the second brigade of the advanced guard to remain in reserve unless an enemy tries to outflank the one in front. I'll personally head over to Blazewitz and try and get eyes on the guard cavalry because we lost complete view of them.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Okay.
James,
Yes.
you resolved the battle on the right. Just want to tell you the sincere. He wanted to accompany his 10th Light Lancers cavalry as they charge the enemy cavalry. Well, there you go. And I think you understood that the Hammerstein,
Yep.
he wanted to charge the enemy cavalry in the middle. It's become a little bit crazy there.
Very crazy.
Getting cramped in Dresden.
Okay. Yep. I think that the French are making a mistake grouping up so badly because they cannot stretch their lines.
Like, the first unit that breaks will get everybody.
Yeah. And I think that the right flank or the eastern flank is collapsing. I don't think they'll be able to stop it.
Let's see. Fighting here. Just waiting for that French cavalry charge.
You mean the charge of the heavy brigade?
Yeah. Alright. Alright, it is 11:30.
We're ready?
Ready.
11:30. Recharge. Send.
Let's see, Schwarzenberg is now with Detali. And Wittgenstein is by himself.
I already had 11:30 in that.
Oh, my bad. I'm just...
I appreciate if you do that, but it can get confusing if we have it double.
Is 11:30 double?
Who will get Marmont now that he's in the center with his troops in reserve?
If he's still by himself, you should get him. But if he's co-located...
He's co-located with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the center of Dresden, so...
Alright, General Wittgenstein, so you pass through Blasowitz and come across members of the First Guard fleeing towards you. Apparently they were broken. The cavalry have been really constrained by the woods and the river, moving up a narrow corridor to where the French are awaiting them in square formations. The First Guard were repulsed and are now being chased by French lancers. The Second Guard attack went in and broke one of the French brigades, but the light cavalry haven't been able to get out of here because of the constraints of the terrain. And that's all you see.
Okay, I'll have the one of the light guard cav peel off to deal with the lancers, and have the cuirassiers and the rest of the lights continue through to turn the flank of the 45th Division.
Okay.
I'll also take command of the light cavalry that's going against the lancers. See if we could capture that general that's with them.
Okay, got it. All right, General von Kleist, Wittgenstein leaves you. Your artillerymen officers report the French artillery are fleeing, and the cavalry attack goes in on the west. It is quite messy, but it looks like you've captured a portion of a division. But the French have countercharged with their own cavalry, and it's just a big giant mess over that way.
Yeah.
What are your orders?
Order Poland and my cavalry to fall back between the gap that I opened for them to go through. Order them to fall back, and once they fall back, have the 12th plug the gap again and hold position.
Okay.
Move my units alongside the artillery and the 11th. Move my headquarters alongside the 11th and the artillery, so I can get a better view of what's going on. Keep the order the 9th Brigade to fall in line behind the 12th in reserve, as well as whatever left of the 10th to push up as well behind me.
Okay.
That's it for now.
Thank you. Alright, Datali, you are visited by Schwarzenberg, as you can tell. The French before you, for the most part, are breaking. You can see von Kleist has ordered some cavalry to charge forward, and things seem to be going well.
Yes. I will order my lifeguard cavalry that's in the reserve to join Schwarzenberg in his travel east. And I will order my whole Russian Guard and Grenadier line to halt their attacks and to reform line. And the Prussian lifeguards are to also form into a division line and cover the link between my artillery and the guards, while the just now reformed Prussian 9th Brigade is to get march behind me and recover, and the 2nd Corps artillery is to begin moving up north to me, and then from there we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
And I sent a dispatch to General Gorchkov asking what's his status. Are there any reports from him?
He reports he's unengaged. The French remain in their defenses and do not attack.
Okay, copy. So that's it from me then.
Schwarzenberg?
I will be joining the Prussian lifeguards as they move northeast. I would like to make contact with either Wittgenstein or von Kleist, whichever one comes first.
Okay.
No, those are not lifeguards on the right.
Sorry, whichever cavalry you were sitting that way.
Alright.
Hello.
Hello. Alright, so your guns move up to the next ridge over and start laying in canister shot into the old guard, who hunker down behind their defenses in the redoubts. Rest of your infantry mostly hold position, and that's it.
Okay. I want to ride up to the the lead brigades of the 1st and 2nd Division, and question: approximately how far is it from their front ranks to the redoubt? It looks like it's about half a mile. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so even at the double, they're not making it in one round.
No.
Okay. Do the guns have to fall silent for them to move through?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we'll give it one more turn. Grenadiers and cuirassiers are to march up the march north. Grenadiers are to screen. Not screen. They're to, if feasible, attack anything directly north of our position. Cuirassiers are to use that cover to attempt to pitch into the western flank of the Old Guard redoubt, into the same unit that's being hit by canister, which should be hit by canister for one more turn. Lead brigades of 1st and 2nd Division, can they like creep in to intermingle among the guns, or do they have to hold position? I'm trying to get them as much artillery support as possible before a last-minute mad dash up to the redoubt is the objective.
Yeah.
If that's feasible, then let's do it. If it's not, then I'll figure out something else.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh.
James, how strict are we with artillery range?
And where?
Like here. Like this unit is like 12.
Yeah, I'd say it's too far.
Too far, okay.
Lots of dispatches towards the end game.
Yep. Scrambling to make something happen. Oh yeah, I'm gonna deal with this up here. Something happened. Oh, there we go.
Should I do the cuirassier charge in the middle?
I already did it. This one?
Oh, you did it.
Yeah, I did
Yes.
that.
Perfect.
Alright, we'll do one more turn and then bring everyone together. You done with your... Oh, we're still waiting on... What's his bucket? Mikius.
Oh goodness me, this is getting really hectic.
Yep.
James, you did understand that the cavalry down the middle, they wanted to charge the guns, and so yeah.
Sure. Is this cavalry attacking too, or are they still sitting there?
They are still sitting there.
Okay. Alright. It's now 12.
Oh, screenshots for 12 is already.
Yep.
Yeah, now the
Okay.
exam.
Yeah.
Let's see. Von Kleist. Dang it. Alright, Wittgenstein. Unfortunately, the attacks are stymied more so by the woods than by the French. It's just not great terrain for a big cavalry charge, and so all brigades eventually are broken.
All right. I will have them fall back to the rear, definitely behind Lacewitz. And I personally will return to Von Kleist's position.
Alright.
We did enough damage.
Alright, thank you.
No, about dead.
Alright. So Schwarzenberg has joined... Oh yeah, Schwarzenberg has joined Von Kleist, as you can see. Your artillery continues to pound the French position. They remain somewhat disordered state about a mile away from your own line. The 12th and 11th Brigade are in mixed levels of disruption of morale. The 10th Brigade are reformed, but still have taken heavy casualties from the earlier fighting. And it sounds like the Russians to your left have also stopped attacking.
Yeah, so I'm ordering all the 12th Brigade, the one that's in stress of 5. I wanted to try to see if they could form up alongside the other 12th Brigade. Every other unit, the 11th is to hold. My artillery is to continue bombardment the uh, of the lines. The 10th Brigade, I want them to form up behind the 11th, and if the 9th can, after my cavalry gets out of the way and all that stuff, if the 9th could form up behind the 12th, that would be great. Yeah, CIC, is there anything else you want to add to that?
Just redress your lines and let your men rest.
Perfect. I have no command of the advanced guard that Wittgenstein, so they're most likely going to stay where they're at. You have to talk to him. I have no communication left from him, so I don't know where he's at right now. I don't know how far to the right he went. So yeah, I want my attack so just the artillery to attack. Everybody else is to stay put and kind of like refresh themselves.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
All right. Schwarzenberg, you're staying here?
No, I would like to go out search for Wittgenstein to the northeast.
Okay, got it. All right, General D'Atali, your men fall back as ordered and reform and rest. The fighting in your section of the area pretty much dies down. The lifeguards move up, and that's it.
Yes. I want the Prussian Second Corps artillery, unless it has been ordered to do something else by von Kleist, to move up in the opening between the Russian advance guard and the Prussian 12th Brigade, and unlimber there and begin bombarding French positions.
Okay.
And I myself, the Tully, will head back west and tell the brigade of the second guard that is currently behind the other counterpart to reform behind them. And I will order my artillery to cease fire, and I personally will try to recover the routing 1st Guards Division currently routing behind the Prussian lifeguards. Other than that, we have to remain dormant and take a rest until further notice.
Got it. Thank you. All right, General Holmberg. A lot has happened in the last half hour. The French
I see.
have launched a major cavalry assault with cuirassiers slamming into your grenadiers and light cavalry overrunning your artillery batteries. 1st Division is rushing to support and are starting to engage with the cavalry.
Perfect. Both divisions of both brigades of 1st Division are to prioritize retaking the lost batteries. The Grenadier Brigade that got hit by the cuirassier is to withdraw if at all possible. The 2nd Grenadier Division is to form square and advance towards the cuirassier, and Nostitz is given the orders to drive off and or destroy the cuirassiers if at all possible. Schneller is ordered to. Oh god, he's still in bad condition. He's ordered to rest for 30 more minutes, but then come up with all speed towards the western flank. And 1st Light Division is also to make its way at best speed towards the western flank, just in case we need to pitch in.
Got it. Thank you.
One other thing. Reserve division is to advance towards the Old Guard redoubt.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Interesting option for Ney.
I think that's it.
That's it. Should we call it?
Yeah. It's indecisive. No one. Dresden's not taken, but the French didn't defeat the coalition either.
And the big cavalry charge in the middle has failed.
Yeah, they didn't send all their cavalry, so they're. But if they'd sent it here, it could have done something. Anyway. Alright. Let's bring everyone to the lobby.
We're ending the game. I still have reserves. I was just about to dedicate them. What the hell?
Oh, I think we're being sent to a lobby. Hello, lobby.
Hello?
Cavalry Corps.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Alright, welcome everyone. So, let's start with the CICs. How do you think you're doing before I show everything? We'll start with Napoleon.
Well, it's tough, but I was about to. I didn't get to issue orders for this turn, but the plan was we're sending the Guard Cavalry and the 5th Cavalry straight east to counterattack the straight east to counterattack the coalition breakthrough that is forming over there.
Okay.
So we would have our Guard Cavalry, the 5th Cavalry, and then Marmont's Corps, which is still relatively fresh, heading in that direction. And I know that the enemy, the coalition over there, is winning, but is running out of pieces.
Alright. Schwarzenberg, how do you think you're doing?
I think we're doing great. I have talked to almost every commander. I'm actually with one of the. Well, I'm with someone right now, and I've been going down the line, telling them to prepare for a cavalry counterattack. So, it sounds like we're prepared for it.
All right. Let me share my screen. So, an interesting battle. We started off with both sides very close to each other, so it was more of a slug-out match than a game of maneuver. We saw historically the French launched a huge attack on the west side, and I can't remember who was over there. It may have been Glenau and Julie historically, but able to overrun them. That didn't happen this time. Basically, I think the French stayed more conservative than historically, and maybe the coalition was a bit more aggressive. But basically, the end result is indecisive battle. I see the French as being able to hold Dresden, and the coalition unable to completely defeat them. Although it wouldn't, I guess, if you compare to the historical battle, the coalition did better than that. The French do indeed have a healthy and strong reserve cavalry and young guard, which if you were launching them to the east, that would have been stymied. I guess it depends on where they go, but the coalition, yeah, they're spent, but they have quite deep lines and still reserve cavalry on their end as well. So I think if you'd sent the cavalry east, I don't think it would have broken through. The one place it probably would have broken through, though you didn't know it would, if they'd gone south kind of through this gap area, they could have hit these divisions and started rolling up that flank, or hit over here and got there. That's probably where the coalition was weakest, right in the center. And then from a coalition perspective, they're slowly gaining ground, pushing the French into Dresden. But they're taking a lot of, spending a lot on their units in terms of morale and casualties. So I don't see them, especially now that the French are behind their defenses built from previous days. I don't see them pushing the French out of Dresden or making a major defeat. So that being said, I hope everyone had fun with it. Let's go ahead and start with the umpires, and then we'll go on to the players. So, umpire Langbart, want to share your perspective?
Okay, I was focused on the western side of the operation. Basically, I had everything west of the river here. It was it started very good for the French. Marmont had a good charge going on down here. He formed a column with all his units and started marching. And Guyayi, his opponent, retreated further and further back until he was around, I think it was Gobetz, where he made his position. And if they had a small skirmish, he had his cavalry charge the infantry of Marmont with support of his own infantry. That went well for him, and I think that was the point where Marmont thought, that's it for me now, and I go back. And then I think he was also ordered by the emperor to retreat into the reserve position. Ney, at the same point, also retreated his units into Dresden, and he then took up this fortified position and tries to rest his units. The coalition, meanwhile, is slowly pushing up. Their cannons are very exhausted at this point, so I guess Ney would be able to hold this position for a while.
Do you think if Ney and Marmont had kept pushing, they could have defeated Glenau, or was it wise for them to pull back?
I think if Marmont would have been pushing and Ney would also have been pushing onto Gaulier, they could have broken that side of the coalition's forces, and then could have rolled up the rest of the coalition from the side.
Okay, interesting. All right. So umpire Mikius was his first time umpiring, as far as I know. I think he did a great job. Why don't you share your perspective? He had basically all the rest of the French by the end of it. So
Yeah, that was interesting. It was a little bit hectic for me because I was scrambling to do all of the updates. So hopefully that the commanders got the information they needed. The battle was very interesting. It started sort of fairly slow. What I think that the coalition did not know how weak the French center was. They were already wavering at like on the victor's line on this side, and there was really not much forces here in the center. Only one regiment deep, so a concerted push there would have changed the situation quite a bit. On the French side, I was really surprised to see the amount of reserves that they had and they did not use, even while significant parts of the French line were wavering, especially in the west. I am amazed that Censeur actually managed to hold the line as much as he did, because when I saw that the coalition was bringing like 4 cavalry regiments forward, I thought that they were going to buckle, but the use of squares and maybe a little bit of luck, I think, helped them there. Yes?
Well, I failed to mention that part. Yeah, so they sent a big cavalry charge, but it was stuck between the river and the woods here. So it had a very narrow corridor that the French were able to hold, and so despite having lots of cavalry, they just didn't have the terrain to take advantage of it, and so they ended up getting routed for that.
Yep. And also, just when the eastern flank of the French was wavering, like at one point, more than half of the regiments were broken. The coalition took time to consolidate their line, rather than being aggressive and pursued further. So, well, I mean, obviously, it's very easy to say these things when you know everything on both sides. If you guys had spent some time somehow scouting the enemy, if at all possible, that would have helped you on both sides.
Yeah, the coalition on the east side, because Saint Cyr was almost his whole corps was breaking several times. If the coalition had just pressed, they probably would have broken entirely and gotten through. But I mean, they opted for a more cautious approach, and so they retained the strength of their units, but missed the opportunity. So a couple missed opportunities. And then we had Umpire Park, but he left early, so he's not here. And then I think Chinleaf was here doing dispatches, but he left. So on to the players. A chance for players to share their game perspective. Some major decisions they made and their thoughts and the experience. So working down the line, Barclay to Tolley to start. You there, Totoli?
Yes, I'm here. So I was leading the Russian right wing. That was a connector between the Austrian center and Prussian furthest right wing. And what my objective was to simply follow the game plan and to restore the front line as it was on day one of the Battle of Dresden. Knowing that I had the best troops in the army, fighting way through the French was easy in combination with artillery and cavalry. But at each checkpoint, that being that village of Strict and now the garden of Dresden, I was being cautious at those points because no one on the coalition side had spotted enemy cavalry, so there was always the danger that we would pursue, like you, James, mentioned, and try to rout the French entirely, but then get hit with a devastating charge that would rout us in return because we would have been spread out and tired. So the whole affair and attack was mostly just to get the French back into the Dresden, preserve our troops, and call it a day.
All right. Emperor Napoleon.
Well, I'm extremely surprised to see how well the East was doing compared to when I was there last. When I was there, the whole line was pretty much gone. So I did not expect when I said I would be sending all that stuff east that I expected the Russians to be and the Prussians to be pouring through the Dresden Garden, in which case the cavalry attack would be a little bit more effective. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a bummer. I think the argument that sending Marmont to the west would have been more decisive, I don't agree with that, because the enemy, I don't know what their plan was, but they were giving ground for time, and the situation in the east was becoming so critical, and we only had cavalry reserve, which I wanted to save until a moment at which they would be more decisive. We kept waiting for the enemy to attack, and they really only kind of ground us down in the east, and didn't make very, very substantial attacks anywhere else. So it was a little bit difficult for us to determine where it would be best to send our reserves, because every new turn we were expecting a major attack here or somewhere else. I think it was the right decision to pull Marmont back into Dresden, because if you look back at the situation in the east over the last couple of turns, I think it was much more dire there. And even though the game is ending here, I think that the coalition would have continued an attack in the east. I don't think that the game might be ending, but I think they could have, with their current state, could continue the attack over there. In which case, we would need Marmont over there. So, I mean, it's only 11 o'clock during the day, so they had plenty of time to prepare for another attack. And as you can see, there's really just shambles over on the eastern side. So, but they're pretty beat up too. So maybe with the continuation, we would have gained a more decisive result. But at this point, I would agree that it is a bit of a stalemate. But if we had maybe another 3 hours, either myself or the coalition could have been more beaten up.
All right, thank you. Hessen-Homburg.
So I had the Austrian Reserve Corps in the center, and my job was pretty simple: was to take and hold that town of Plauen or Ploven at the head of that large river gully. We managed to achieve that pretty early on. I was lucky enough to grab a couple French batteries. I don't know if they were left out there as bait or what, but managed to carry those. The French did a pretty good job of beating up my units early on, but we consolidated our position. And if this terrain is how I read it, I kind of don't agree that the French attack on the left would have been decisive, because as far as I can tell, there's only the one crossing of that gully at Ploven, and my whole objective was just to hold that back door open so that our left wing would be able to either withdraw if needed, or we could shuffle troops over, or if for some reason everything went pear-shaped, we'd be able to at least hold that position so that the rest of the army wouldn't be flanked. I will admit that the cavalry charge into my front at the last minute was rather distressing, but I think we have it contained. And I think our plan was generally going well. I kind of wish I had kept a handshake with the Russians on my right better.
All right. Thank you. Who's next? Nay can't talk. Gotta get his mic working so we can hear him. Schwarzenberg.
Yeah, so I was the CIC for the coalition in this battle. Overall, the plan from the start was never to enter Dresden. We always, it's like I think I told Hamburg like halfway through the battle, we're aiming for an aspirin Essling, but I'll take an Eilau, to where we wanted to end the day as close to our starting lines on day one so that we could say that we are in bombardment range of large parts of Dresden, to give them an awkward choice to make as to whether to stay there or not. It's early in the day. I will say that we were spending most of the day focusing on getting Plowen, taking Strelka, and just attacking across the gardens on the right. We were very concerned about what was going on with Goulet, and I spent a lot of time with Hamburg to make sure that Plowen went through. And as soon as I could, I crossed that bridge. And when we found out that Goulet not only was not under threat, but it actually seemed to repulse the French, I was very confused. And every corps commander was asking, "Where is the French cavalry? Where is the French cavalry?" So right there towards the end, in the last, the 10, the 10:30, the 11 o'clock hour, I went all the way up and down the line, and I basically just ordered an entire halt to all the attacks to redress the line and either find the French cavalry or prepare for a counterattack. But we never intended to enter Dresden. Whether, I don't know if that was the right call or not, but that was never the plan.
All right, interesting. Marmont.
All right, yeah. So, yeah, I had some early success with that marching to the west, but that was mostly Ney. When I arrived, they were already kind of retreating. And I got my nose bloodied pretty bad by that cavalry charge because I misread the situation. I thought that one of my infantry was free to form a cavalry, a square if cavalry attacked. I didn't realize they were also currently engaged by the enemy. That was my fault. And then the very next turn, I received orders directly from Napoleon to retreat. And when Napoleon says to retreat, I mean you retreat, right? And I do agree with his assessment. When I came back to Dresden, if I were not here, there wouldn't really be anyone in reserve who was capable to be sent further east to reform the lines there. Because on the turn, right before the game ended, it was completely annihilated. All I saw were, just 4 broken infantry regiments. And all that was really held in reserve, other than my division there, or my corps, sorry, was the cavalry. So I do agree with Napoleon that I retreated at a good time.
Yeah. Victor? It's muted.
You're muted.
Maybe he's asleep. All right, Von Kleist.
So I was pretty much on the right flank, pretty much from the beginning of the battle to the very end, until our CIC told me to stop my attack. I had been fighting all morning, tooth and nail, against, I think it was the 14th Corps. Me and Wittgenstein, we kind of were like commanding this flank for most of the battle together, trying to our best to push the French back into Dresden as much as possible, or try to capture if possible. But the French were fighting just as fiercely as our units were, so our units were getting battered pretty hard. So we were being quite reserved in launching massive attacks due to us being afraid of where the cavalry was. Like all of our other fellow commanders on the coalition side, we were very scared of where this French cavalry was, because none of us had seen it. We've seen small little bits of the cavalry, but not any cavalry in force. So we were, in a sense, afraid to really push out, because if we did, we were afraid we were going to get flanked by this massive cavalry that we didn't know where it was. So we were playing kind of cautiously, so we wouldn't have that situation. But we did push, and we pushed hard, especially in our areas, to try to capture the town on the flank by the river, as well as the gardens, so we could push the French back. And we did push them pretty far back at one point. It's just that since we didn't really know where the French cavalry was located, we were kind of hesitant in really pushing forward, because we were afraid of getting outstretched or outflanked by it if they decided to come out.
It's interesting
pretty much it.
that the French cavalry basically protected the whole army without having to do anything by just staying hidden.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
All right, Wittgenstein.
Yeah, I just want to say everybody's saying that the east flank was not being aggressive. We most definitely was being aggressive up until the 10 o'clock marker. We did not stop advancing at all until we lost sight of the guard cavalry. Then we were like, well, what in the world happened to them? So I had to go over and look for them. That was the only time we slowed up, even before CIC called for general hold. We were being conservative in how we positioned our units, but we never stopped advancing. And even Von Kleist can tell you, I told him to keep up pressure because we totally annihilated the 14th Corps. Like, they did a full withdrawal, and we was like, we don't want them to recover and come back at us. But yeah, the guard cavalry, I was expecting them to charge out from the forest, and it so happened that they went all the way behind the enemy infantry and got stuck in the corridor. So the infantry held up the forest line, and then they were essentially useless, but they were already in position. And I was like, well, if I withdraw them, I might as well try and break these squares. And I did. I broke a couple. So they did good enough. They'll come back in the fight later.
All right, last but not least, Saint Cyr had the hard fight in the east.
It was more like just trying to stem a disaster. All of my troops, they started with free disruption, and I was very spread out. I had positions all the way from Blegenaust to the southern edge of the gardens, where I couldn't see my entire force no matter where I stood. So I just kind of focused on the flank because I didn't want that to get turned, and I knew that we had Victor in place to kind of come in and fill any gaps that opened in the center. And from there, it really was just me trying to outrun the Prussians and Russians so that I could maybe get a turn to allow my troops to rest up so that they'd maybe be able to fend off whatever next attack was coming. And it just so happened when I had a good clump of my units together that the guard cavalry just came around the corner, and I kind of hastily had to throw the 45th into position. And just these squares were one right behind each other, and then I had the lancers behind them in case they broke. And then they actually held, which I did not expect. I was literally, like, almost every other turn pleading with Napoleon to send reinforcements in my direction. And I think I might have been a little over dire, but it never was a very good situation here. And I think if the battle had continued, I maybe had been able to make a last stand, but I honestly think I might have gotten pushed into a pocket here along the river.
All right. How many of you this was your first live game with me?
This is my first time playing.
Yeah,
this is also my first.
Yeah, I had a lot of new ones, so glad to have
This
you.
is my second game with you, James.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of new people. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun. I've decided I don't like slog out matches as much as games of maneuver, so I probably won't do one like this for a while. But
in my
This was
brain,
tough.
I thought it was a game of maneuver. Like, when we couldn't get in contact with Goulet, we were all envisioning, like, okay, what's going on over there? There must be 2 corps of French cavalry going way around Goulet's flank or something. And then when I got over there, he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, then where's the cavalry at?
yeah, interesting. But
So one of the things I wanted to add about the aggressiveness, my feeling is that the way to win this battle is to get a momentum and then not to let up. You guys were aggressive, and as soon as their enemy, like the French line started breaking, you guys would take a break to consolidate, and then you would push again. So every time you took a step back, instead of like rolling them up and routing them all together, you gave them a chance to regroup and recover and then take another position. So now I don't know if it was that easy or what the cavalry would do, but I'm just saying is that this is where some of that, decisive moments would come if you figured out how to roll up and then,
That's
start
right.
mass routes.
No.
And I
That's
think
not
that
true. We made specific orders that every single time we saw a unit was broke, we told the umpires, we were like, pursue the enemy until they surrender or shatter. We specifically kept saying this. So when y'all keep saying we weren't aggressive, we said this every single time. We did not stop advancing.
The center and the left were pretty conservative. I will give them that.
Yeah, but they said us specifically, which is why I'm like, I don't see why you guys saying that, because we gave specific orders to be aggressive.
Well, I think I can point to two specific points where the line, the French line, was crumbling, and I was expecting Prussians and Russians to pour through, and I just didn't see it. I'm not saying that you guys weren't playing; you were playing badly. I'm just saying if you guys had been put, because so on the turn before it ended, Victor's corps, as you can see here, there's 4 units that are at 5. Those were all broken a turn before, and then there's another 2 above that. Those were all broken a turn before.
Yep.
Here.
So that whole area was completely broken. So when I said I was sending forces east, I expected Prussians and Russians to be pushing through this garden. I think, and there's several other points in the battle where I expected that to happen, and it just, either due to distance, we also withdrew. I expected you all to hopefully, I was kind of hoping that you would push more aggressively through in front of your grand battery, but that never happened. And so the reason the cavalry never got sent is there was just never a good point until pretty much this last turn to send it, because in every previous turn, your lines were never close enough for us to make a successful cavalry charge. You had ample artillery able to fire, and because you were relatively conservative in the different places that you were attacking, or I knew that the east was either stable or unstable, there was never a good point to activate that cavalry. Although I should say that, I don't know, McPanzer, who is Mortier, and Morberg, who was, I'm sorry, I can't remember the player's name off the top of my head, I apologize, but they had a plan to attack the center with all 3 cavalry units and Mortier's Young Guard Corps. But I don't know why only one of the units attacked when it was supposed to be all 3, but that never came to pass.
I mean, the Russian attack on the east was supposed to occur again the next turn, but the game ended. The reason why we took those breaks in between assaults on different positions was to, 1, consolidate the line, rest the troops, and recover their disruption, and 2, to prepare a solid wall of defense against any counterattacking cavalry, because I told Schwarzenberg about that moment at the Battle of Rivoli when the Austrians were so sure of victory. They pushed all their men forward like a scattered mob of ants, and then it was just less than 1,000 French cavalry who charged and then routed them all. So I was fearful of this kind of scenario on us.
I can confirm he did make that analogy.
Yeah, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping for you to push forward aggressively, get overextended, and hit you with cavalry. I also think that Schwarzenberg's overall view of the battle was correct. Ultimately, I need to route you more than you need to route me.
Very kind of you.
Which is problematic because the way that we started our battle, I had to basically put both Young Guard Corps on the front lines to start, and Schwarzenberg had to start because neither Victor nor Marmont had arrived until the night before. So both of those automatically were in reserve, and I was not able to affect their deployment. Same with 2 of the cavalry divisions that I had access to. So it was what was on the front lines was pretty much everything that could be on the front line. Like, and I knew I couldn't give up too much ground because of what you were expressing.
Yeah, and I had to deploy the army in a way to where I had to encircle Dresden. So like I had to spread everything out.
All right,
Yeah.
I just would like to say just I think one thing that really hindered at least us, the coalition, is since you kept 2 divisions of cavalry in reserve, and Schwarzenberg even asked me that when he got to my side, and he was asking, "Have I seen any cavalry?" And I'm like, "No, we've only seen lancers. We haven't seen really anything." And me and Wittgenstein and I was telling him I was very afraid of moving too far ahead without having uh without stretching my line out too much or getting out of contact with the Taulier, because I was afraid as well, since I hadn't seen this massive cavalry movement, and there's been no reports of any massive cavalry charges anywhere else on the line through any dispatches, that we're like, if we split up or we cause too much of a gap between our units, that will give you guys an opportunity to break through and hit us on the flank. So we had to play a little conservative, since we did not know where all this cavalry was. We were afraid of getting outflanked or broken and defeated and detailed, because that was a lot of cavalry that could easily cut a line in between any of our commands, leaving us isolated. So we had to be careful.
No joke, with me and Von Kleist there before the game ended, we're talking about sending Hussars all the way to the far right to Polritz, because we thought there was a bridge there, just to see if you were doing like a massive like cavalry maneuver to get around our flank over at Polritz. Like that's how paranoid we were about the cavalry. Like it's like it was ever whenever I went to any corps commander, and James will tell you, I ping ponged all over the place this game.
Same did I.
The first thing I said is like, "Have you seen cavalry? Like what did you see? Did you see cavalry? No. Okay, then it must be at Goulet. It's not at Goulet. Okay, then it must. Where is it? It was in my brain. It was like a ghost."
One thing that I do feel kind of that I wish I could have done, and I did, and I actually said it in the planning phase. I wanted to send cavalry across the river as a feint to try to see if I could entice you guys to think we were coming from across the river. And I wish I could have sent something over there, because then it could have given us a better view of what was going on behind. But yeah, it was just that cavalry was scary.
Yeah, I was also a little disappointed with how badly our troops fared in the towns. I was really banking on those to be a bit more solid of positions. I mean, historically, they were the hardest positions to take, even harder than crossing a river. It was just like horrific fighting in those towns. We lost Strela and Rinitz pretty much immediately, and also the other in the east. We pushed forward to take Blaswitz, and we pushed to take Strelin, I think is the name of it. And I was hoping that those would be kind of our bastions, but we just kind of got pushed out of there regardless. I mean, partially due to the artillery, partially due to.
Can I say, since I was the one in command in that side, St. Clair, he did quite good. The reason in laying down a lot of casualties on my end, leading me to kind of become more conservative, because we took Bleitzwitz and we took the town in the center, but it wasn't like we walked in and we took it. It caused me a lot of heartache of seeing the counters go up to like 3 and 4, and I'm like, okay, I have to stop and let them rest, because I can't just keep on pushing down this road with units that could break in with a well-trained volley shot. So it's like they were hard fought. They were hard fought, and at one point, one side I was like, "Ooh, we're not. I don't know. I want to stop them for a little bit, because it was bloody fighting."
Meanwhile, Saint Cyr's whole corps was on 4 on turn 1 by the end of turn 1. It was like it's like it's
Yeah, I
so
don't know.
beat up.
Yeah, I don't know if in retrospect I was overvaluing it or not, but I put a lot of our resources into taking Plauen on like basically just south of Dresden because of that bridge. I just really like I mean Homburg will tell you I spent half the game with him just to because I really wanted to connect with Goulet
Yeah.
because I was just really worried about what you all might have been doing to Goulet. But really, kind of like von Kleist and Wittgenstein was saying, most of the hardest fighting was in the east. Like those gardens saw just as much bloodshed as they did in the historical battle.
Yeah. I wanted to try and hold Plauen, but I just simply did not have the resources. Um, we had 2 corps in reserve and then 3 cavalry divisions, and that was it. And then the old guard. Everything else was on the line, and you know we tried to hold Plauen, but I mean you had like 4 batteries across from us firing on us in the first turn.
Yeah.
It was just everywhere we were being overwhelmed by artillery.
If I was going to give myself one pat on the back, I did set up like 3 grand batteries, and they all seem to do really well.
Oh yeah, you had like 3 times the guns that we did. We just simply couldn't. We we tried to use our guns cleverly, and we tried to draw you into kind of a bad situation. But when we first ordered Saint Cyr to fall back, he mostly reconcentrated up in that forest up in the north by the Elbe, and then Victor formed a second line. And we were hoping you would be more aggressive, and that Saint Cyr could kind of come in on your flank, but instead you mainly focused your attacks in the garden and in Blaswitz, which was not in the open ground.
Yeah, I mean, and a part of that, I mean, Wittgenstein was naturally aggressive, probably more aggressive than I would have liked, but I'm not going to give him any, crap for that. But I kind of told them all at the end of if we end the day, which there's still plenty of day to go, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I said if we end the day where we can say they are bottled up in Dresden and we are shelling it, then I consider that a strategic victory because taking the city was going to be nearly impossible with what we had.
I will say, in all due consideration to your blocking forces, all honor to that brigade of the 23rd Division that you had in Plauen. It broke a couple of my brigades and was a thorn all out of proportion to its numbers.
Yeah, we had to send in an entire grenadier division to get that one thing out of there.
Yeah, we really should have just pulled the trigger and counterattacked you in the center, but it was just the East was so constantly disastrous. It was very hard to warrant that kind of counterattack in the center. Like we knew that, and it looked like you had way more forces in the center than it appears that you have at this moment. To us, it just looked like you had piles and piles of Austrians in there. So we were very hesitant, and I think it wasn't until this turn that you were like really closely engaged with us. But my understanding was that the East was just like literally just falling apart. But it looks like it kind of stabilized. So
yeah, I mean, Vitali, Wittgenstein, and von Kleist, they did great being aggressive.
Yeah.
But I told them all to stop. And to be fair to you, I think Homburg can confirm this, but there was a lot more Austrians in that center up until like the 11:30 hour because I told him that we might need to send stuff to Goulet, or Goulet might need to send stuff to us.
Mm-hmm.
So that weakness did just recently open up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I as soon as I took Plauen, I immediately saw the old guard redoubt, and I'm like, well, I'm not attacking that. So I spent the next 2 hours shuffling troops back and forth to try to find, a way around it, which I guess had the side effect of making me look bigger than I was.
Yeah, it was an interesting match. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, and I think it was a little bit tougher in that if I had been able to deploy Marmont and Victor I think I would have placed them on the front line, and it would have been the Young Guard in reserve, and preferably I would have had them on the flanks and Saint Cyr in the center, which I think was my original plan, and we would have. The original plan before I switched things was that we were going to make a large attack with the 2nd Young Guard Corps and the 5th Cavalry Division in the east. I'm sorry, the west. And I think if I had any cavalry in the west, I would have invested more in that attack because I would have been able to have made a more effective pursuit of Clenau and Goulet, because I kept getting dispatches from Marmont that was telling me they've withdrawn or they pulled back, and I'm like, they're just doing a fighting withdrawal over there. There's no reason for us to keep pressing them if they're just going to simply keep withdrawing. And even though they don't have a connection to the rest of the army, they can infinitely withdraw back south. So that was kind of the thinking. This is just like, if they're going to keep withdrawing, we don't have enough cavalry there to force a situation. So yeah,
that makes sense.
But I mean, all the players did very well. I mean, a lot of these players were brand new, and I think Marmont did great. Victor, you did great. Saint Cyr did excellent, and no complaints really.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Homburg and de Tully, and they both did great.
This is an